Retro Fitness East Meadow, as a business, as a facility, unfortunately fails its members day in and day out because they don't want to listen. They think that they're always right. Unfortunately, it's a location where the customer is always wrong. And in today's day and age, service is number one. You're going to lose every time if you're not into service. And they just, unfortunately at this point, they don't care. So I want to keep it brief. Of course, no one's going to pay attention to a 50-minute video. My biggest gripe is that, I'm in the service industry myself. I'm a real estate broker. I do real estate development for Favo Inc., FAVO, Realty Inc., and everything about me is for the client, member. I don't make a sale unless a customer or a client is satisfied, happy, and taken care of. A gym business is very simple. I was a fitness manager of a very large box gym for a very long time. So I understand, what they go through and what it takes. It's not an easy job. Usually it's very underpaid. So I want to start this by saying, I never wanted it to get to this level and it was very easy to avoid. And of course, nothing is personal. And I wish they would have just took the simple steps that most gyms take. Basically, it boiled down to sanitary cleanliness, really just disgusting, just complete avoiding. There was no cleaning of the locker room at any point. The pictures that I posted were the tip of the iceberg. I don't know how they took down the other pictures of the, there was pictures that I had in the shower of all the mold that was so bad it was gone past black. It was starting to rot out the drywall. I've been in construction too. I know that that's just neglect. That has to go on for years and years and years for that type of mold to eat through sheetrock. So basically what happened is I approached them with my issues. I was a member, I signed up. And of course, with gyms, you don't know about all these issues till you're there for a couple weeks. So, you can't get out of your membership at that point. I didn't want to. I like the facility. I think it's great. I'm not a professional bodybuilder. I just need to work out and go home. So I said to the girl at the front desk, I said, I don't want to be one of those people. I said, but your locker room is disgusting. I said, for lack of a better term, it's absolutely disgusting. I said, there's no cleaning. Actually, the point that I went to tell her the bathroom was flooded in one of the stalls to the point where obviously what goes in the toilet was now on the floor. The girl responded that they'll have a look at it tonight when they do the cleaning. I said, it's not really the kind of thing you might want to leave to tonight. You might want to have someone go in there, look at it now. It's pretty bad. Not a care in the world. Okay, I let it slide, days and days, months and months go by. So I see the same girl at the front desk. And, I said to her again, I was like, you guys tell me that you clean every night. I said, can I show you some pictures that would prove otherwise? I don't clean in there. I'm a woman. I can't go in there. I understand. I'll tell management. This went on for months. What also was driving me insane is I work out early in the morning, first thing, 5 a.m. They had a girl working the front desk who obviously was smoking cigarettes. Now, they have a loading dock next to the doors that you enter the building. So I guess that was a good place for her to smoke, unbeknown to her that the smoke is literally, you might as well just smoke in the building because it's all coming in the building. So myself and a couple of the members were like, why does it smell like smoke in here? What the hell is that? So, and again, we try to be cordial and professional because I understand what I make for a living is not what these people at the gym make for a living. I don't expect them to have my expectations, but some common decency. I was hit with nothing but confrontation with anything I suggested, anything I told them. And it got to the point where the owner, Christina, called me up and she said, well, what would you like me to do? It's very cold out. Where would you like her to smoke? I said, excuse me? I said, you know the kind of business you have, right? It's a fitness facility. Most people really don't want to inhale cigarette smoke during a workout. I said, I have friends that smoke cigarettes their whole life. The last thing they want to do during an exercise program is smoke a cigarette. So basically everything's just confrontation. The members are always wrong. I was told that the lockers are cleaned every night. I don't know what I'm talking about. When I showed the pictures to Christina herself, she hit me with the same rebuttal. I'm a woman. I can't go in there. What would you like me to do? I said, well, you're the owner. These are the people you're supposedly paying that you're telling me are maintaining your gym every night. I said, as a professional courtesy, I'm informing you people that you're paying a salary aren't doing what they're to be done. It's absolutely obvious. You can see by the pictures. Again, a couple weeks went by. And again, I kind of try to let it slide. But again, when you take a shower and you go to the gym, you use these facilities, you want to go to work. You want to go right from work to the gym. I don't want to go back home. Simple things I take for granted. Most gyms don't have these problems. I've never had these problems at any other gym. If it's okay for the sake of the video, I have a gym membership at the place called Blink, which is corporately run by Equinox. With all due respect, you could literally eat off that locker room floor. That place is spotless and meticulous. Beautiful gym, same price per month, about $25 a month, right? I don't expect much. I want to work out, go in, go home. I don't want to spend a ton of money. Having been said, I went in. They sell towels now well, they always have at Retro Fitness. They sell the towels for $1. Nice towel, easy, simple. Just need a towel. I always bring my own towel. I always bring two towels actually. One for the floor because they have carpet on the floor in the locker room, which I think is horrendous and a disgusting decision. But I digress. So I bring a towel for the floor to stand on and a towel to clean myself. Turns out this morning, unfortunately, I forgot when I only had one towel. So I wanted a towel to work out with and one to take a shower. I asked the girl, I said, I don't see any towels. Can I buy a towel? Oh, we haven't had towels. We've been out of towels for a couple days. Oh, great. All right. So I said, you know what? I'll just go in my locker. I'll take my towel. I'll cut it in half. I'll use one half for the workout and then the floor, and then the other half to clean myself off. Problem with these two front desk girls is not only do they not do anything, but they hide, and they have a daycare area. So these two girls hide from anyone. When you check in, there's no one at the you could walk in and out of this gym your whole life and never pay a membership. No one checks you in. There's no one there. I pay a membership, I guess, just to be nice, whatever. Who cares? So I said to the girl, I said, all right, you have no towels. That's great. Go in the locker room, get my towel. I go to the front desk and I'm thinking, all right, I need to find this girl because I just want to cut my towel in half. Can I get a scissor? There's a scissor right there on the desk. I said, you know what? This girl's nowhere to be found. Let me just take the scissor and cut my towel. I'm almost done cutting my towel. The girl comes running over to me. She said, where did you get that towel? I said, my locker. She's like, no, you just stole that out of the supply room. I watched you go in there. I said, okay, physically impossible because you've been in the child care center since I came in. I haven't seen you leave. I said, you can't even physically see the storeroom from the child care center. And I said, more importantly, you just told me you've been out of towels for days. How would I have gone in your storeroom to steal a towel if you don't have any? Oh, where'd you get the scissor? I said, it was right here on the counter. Well, you're not allowed to use that, and why didn't you ask me? I said, because you're never around, and whenever I need help, you're not around. And I said, more importantly, when I ask you for anything, it's nothing but confrontation. The front desk there, I'm in the service industry. So for me, and again, when I was a fitness manager of a big box gym, client retention is huge, okay? You're only going to get so many new members every day, every week, every month. That's not going to sustain your business in a gym. 95% of your income is going to be from client retention. That's going to revolve around the member's experience and their satisfaction. Again, for a $25 a month gym, I don't expect $200 a month Equinox services. And again, for $200 a month, people are out of their minds. It's just a gym. Again, if you're in the service industry, there's a level of experience and satisfaction that people, it's very simple. All right. Don't accuse me of things I didn't do. I'm a 44-year-old man. The gym the towel's $1. Okay. So first and foremost, just from a legal standpoint, do I really want to run the risk of a gym maybe thinking I did steal? And God forbid, maybe they have something on camera that looks questionable. I'm going to run that risk for $1 for a towel? No, of course not. And then more importantly, if I'm going to be going there every day, why would I create that type of, tension and, hey, here's the guy that might be stealing stuff. Oh, keep an eye on this. Come on, give me a break, right? Really, if you were so concerned with the safety and the condition of the gym, this, that, and the other thing, how come you've been hiding in the child care all day and night? You don't do a thing. You don't pick up a broom. You don't pick up a mop. You're only here to be combative and confrontation. I'm not interested in that. Now, as far as Retro Fitness goes as a corporation, these are privately run businesses by entrepreneurs, but there is a certain level of overall brand standard expectations that go across the board as a member or an owner of Retro Fitness you have to uphold. This by far, from what I understand, because the more I looked into it, the worse this got, the more I looked into the reviews, this is probably one of the worst running Retro Fitnesses ever. And the reason why I got so upset about this whole situation is because there's no corporate oversight or delegation. There's no one to go to aside from the owner. There's an ABC billing company. And I found this all through experience because I wanted to cancel my membership when I told them the locker room was disgusting. When I first asked them to cancel, this is the funny thing. They said, no, you signed up for a year. You can't cancel. I said, okay, but I'm disgusted with the condition of this facility, and I no longer want to give you my money. We'll put you in collections. I said, you got to, whatever. I said, the hell with it for the $25. So it got to, like I said, it got to the point where I was accused of stealing. The front desk girl has never even known my name. She's never said hello to me, never said good morning. And I try to say good morning, hello to everybody, who works there, obviously, because it's just common courtesy. And who knows, we may have to have a conversation one day. It happens. It's a service industry. Your number one income is your members. This facility seems to think that member or not, I don't care what you have to say. I don't want you in my building. Don't touch anything. Don't look at anything. And the place is a mess and you'll deal with it. I don't understand that mentality. I used to be a competitive bodybuilder. I did very well. I placed high, won trophies. Again, I've trained people. I still do online nutrition, all this other stuff. Fitness to me is a little bit more, it's a passion. It's not just a hobby, it's a passion. I don't bring that passion to other people's expectations because I don't expect you to be as motivated as I am. I don't expect you to have a 19-year-old girl whose all she's doing is staring at on her cell phone 24/7, telling me I'm stealing your towels. And then she's telling me you have a problem with everyone here. I said, I only asked is if you clean the locker rooms, and I showed you 2 pictures. I said, because everyone behind this front desk keeps telling me you're a female and that you can't go into the male locker room, which again doesn't make any sense. You're the owner of this building. You could do whatever you want. You own the building. It's your company. I tried to do it from a standpoint that I wasn't trying to be rude or condescending. I tried to do it to say, hey, I've been in your shoes. I've run a fitness facility of a lot of members, and I'm also in business for myself now as an active partner of Favo Realty Inc. I'm not an employee. I'm a partner. Just trying to help you out. Listen, I know you're not here all the time. I know you're paying people probably minimum wage. They're not going to care like you do. I've been there. Just take my advice, please. Look at your locker rooms. They're disgusting. The whole member, every member in that building knows that the facilities in there, there's people that don't even use the bathroom there. There's literally people that walk across the parking lot into the Texas Roadhouse Grill, and they use that bathroom. And it's funny because the manager of that business knows that people come to use his bathroom. And you know what he does? Instead of shunning them away and being stupid, he's a smart business owner. You know why? He creates contacts. He shakes everyone's hands. He says, yeah, feel free to use my bathroom. You know why? Because I've gone there to eat dinner now because the guy was so nice to me. In business, you're only going to make as much money as you want to make. And being rude to people in a service industry, how are you even open? How are you even open? If you read the reviews from this specific location, she won't let you out of your membership. She won't cancel your membership. And then when you call ABC Billing Company, because it's not retro, that's the biggest headache with everybody in this building. They don't do the building. They're corporately run. So if you have a problem with the owner or if you have a problem with the staff, call corporate. Good luck getting in touch with retro corporate. If you've ever looked into retro corporate, there's a huge deluge of YouTube videos and other stuff about the owners, backpedaling and getting harassed. They got rid of owners. It's such a horror show. And to me, it doesn't make sense because as a business, instead of, you would catch more bees with honey. So instead of being confrontational and combative, you know what? Just say, you know what? Because this is what I always did. Sorry. We'll make it right. I keep their business. I keep a friend. You know what? People can disagree, but you don't have to become mortal enemies. I mean, this woman, if you told her, like, say, hey, I like the other gym, it's cleaner. She goes on the attack, and it's crazy. It's not the mentality that a business owner should have. And more importantly, it's not the mentality you need in the service industry. Service industry, you have to be able to be one of those people that could say, you know what? The customer is right. Whether I believe in my heart or not that you're right, you're right. You know how many times in the facility I worked in that I knew the customer, I knew the client, I knew the member was being, they were purposely trying to break something. They were purposely trying to be a problem. They had a bad day and they wanted to take, and you know what? I've had to diffuse those people. They're screaming, they're yelling, but you know what? You know what I learned? Let them scream, let them yell, because they're not yelling at me. I didn't do anything. So it goes in one ear and out the other. And as a professional in business, you have to be able to do that. She can't detach herself in business. If anything you say to her, she immediately takes it personal and gets defensive and combative, which is why none of her issues ever got resolved from the start. And they escalate to the point now we have someone like myself who simply just wanted to buy a towel and asked about the maintenance of their locker room to the point where I can't get my refund. I can't cancel. I'm at the point now where anybody I run into, if we start talking about working out, guess what I bring up? How bad retro fitness is and avoid that place. It's insane because I still have clients. I'm still in the fitness industry. I still work with supplement companies. And the sad thing is, it's kind of a known fact now on Long Island to stay away from that place. And when I first opened, it's right down the block of my house. It was a really good place, really nice people. Her father ran it. Her father was a great guy. Her father still is a good guy. So if this does get out and he does see it, I have nothing against him purposely. Personally, great people. But professionally, she's the wrong person to be behind the wheel of that ship. It's the Titanic, and for some reason, it hasn't sank yet. But it's still floating, you know? And I don't know why she just won't say, you know what? These people aren't attacking me. I own a gym. The gym is dirty. No one's going in there and saying, hey, Christina, you look like a blah, or you smell like a. No, nobody's doing that. And I don't have time for that. This isn't high school. We're all adults. I mean, you got a lot of professional. You got a lot of police officers, a lot of EMS. Because it's close to that area and it's a good price. They give a discount to those people. Why? And they have strong unions. And believe me, they talk. And do you know how I know they talk? Because when I was the fitness manager of the facility I ran, we did the same thing. But we got so much business because I'm not going to say that we bowed down to every need they had, but we treated them as they deserved to be treated, as did every member. We never selected one member to be better than the other, and I never differentiated from who I'm going to be nice to and who I'm going to be mean to, who I'm going to give good service to and who I'm going to give bad service to. Because if you're in business, your main goal is to make money. And if you don't take the mentality that you never know who you're speaking to, and the person in front of you could be your next customer, your next client, they could be your next investment. I never know. So if you're in sales, if you're in service, to have the mentality to be combative and confrontational is bizarre. So that's my whole gripe with Retro Fitness at East Meadow. They're not willing to just take someone's advice who's been there, and more importantly, they just don't listen to their members. Can't understand. If I walked into that building and saw that woman doing anything, cleaning, talking to a member, doing anything to make someone's day a little bit more positive and a little bit more exciting, because in the fitness industry, that's what your customers are looking for. Motivation, excitement, just make my day better. That's why I'm paying you. And when I used, it's a shame because everyone I talk to says the same thing. They've never, ever once seen her do a damn thing. I mean, her father's pretty old. Her father used to carry in cases and cases and cases of drinks, this, that, the other thing. She would just sit there on her phone. Her and the other kid would sit on. They never helped. What do I want Christina? I want Christina to actually care about her business. I want Christina to start realizing that the members aren't attacking her personally. This is a big problem. If everyone there says the same thing, it's not just one or two people trying to be a pain in the butt. What do I want Retro Fitness as a corporation to do? I want them to start taking responsibility and start taking actions on members, on owners like her, who, because it's a privately owned corporation that's a franchise, it's like the Wild West. She can really do whatever she wants. And as Retro Fitness as a business, there is no accountability. There is no one to speak to. They go out of their way to make sure you can't find them. And that's what drove me over the top. The fact that it's obvious that they know what a problem they have. Retro Fitness knows what a problem they have, and they will not acknowledge it. And that's what I want. The number one thing that would come good of this is if Retro Fitness finally decided to have accountability as a corporation, and then on top of it, come down on their individual owners who were failing that brand miserably, because her as an owner is bringing down the brand of Retro Fitness into the toilet. Because now there's no other Retro Fitness I want to go to because of the experience I had there. I'm not even willing to deal with it. And it's a shame because Retro Fitness has a lot of locations. On the flip side of that, you have a company like Planet Fitness, which is only $10 a month, and I've never had a problem. I asked the girl to change the channel on the TV. The first thing she said was, "Oh, I'm really sorry. What channel would you like?" Nothing was wrong. But again, in the service industry, the first thing she did was figure, let me diffuse the situation and offer an apology to someone who maybe isn't happy. Perfect. I wasn't upset. I wasn't unhappy. I wasn't excited. But the fact that she simply said, "Oh, I'm sorry. What would you like?" A simple sorry when it comes to interactions in business, a simple sorry, a simple apology, or acknowledging someone's, disgust really diffuses the situation fast. And that's something she's never learned, which is business 101. Business 101. Well, now you're talking about to the social psychology of human intellect and human psyche. One of the best quotes I ever heard, I hate to say it, it's from a movie, Terminator 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger. When Edward Furlong asked the Terminator, "Are we going to make it, humans?" And he turns to him point blank and says, "It's in your nature to destroy yourselves." Unfortunately, human tendency seems to be more negative, more combative, more scared, than just saying, "You know what, I'm not going to get scared. I'm not going to get angry. Let me just stay level. Let me absorb all the information, and then let me not make a decision right now because I'm heated in the moment. Let me let some time subside and let me make a calm, rational decision." It's almost impossible for humans to do. And I know for a fact, because I've been guilty of it. It took me a long time to practice that, to put that into practice. I mean, I'm 45. Of course, when I was 25, I wish I could have done it then. I would have made a lot better decisions. But I think, unfortunately, that human nature is to be either hesitant or I don't want to say not trusting, but of course, there's always that caution that, and this, again, this has to do with the media. This has to do with the politics. There's so much information out there that today will conflict what comes out tomorrow. Trump 30 days ago said this is no big deal. It's going to blow over. The heat of the summer is going to kill it. I used to be, I'm not going to say Trump fan, but I loved what he did for the economy. What he did with this virus, 30 days ago, there was a clear indication, he knew. And the way that he played it off just never took control. So there's going to be a lot of mistrust from the American people to the government. There's other countries that just because of their infrastructure can't handle this. This is a black swan, as they call it. It's a unique event. So how can we change as people? I'm hoping that, unfortunately, even though we have to social distance, I'm hoping that this will eventually actually bring people back together to the point where it's great that we could do this meeting over the computer, but as well as I do, when we were 2025, this would have happened face to face. Convenience, yes. Of course, if we're in different states, different countries, yes, this is great. I've had people 3 buildings away from my building in Garden City say, "Hey, you want to do a web chat?" I said I could walk to your building in 5 minutes. Everybody wants to be, talking. Everybody wants to be connected, but not in person. And more importantly, now with the computer and all this other stuff, everybody is connected, but with anonymity. So people are getting to voice some of the darkest, deepest, all this stuff that shouldn't be voiced. How are we going to come out of this? Your guess is as good as mine, because there's going to be a group of people like yourself and myself who realize that, okay, this stinks, but we're going to go on. We're going to do well. There's another group of people that, the end of the world. This is the end of the world. This is the end of the world, and it's always the end of the world. And I really think it's going to have to be a matter of, we're going to have to come together as a world, not as a country, not as a religion, but as a world. And this is where we're really going to test our world leaders. Are our world leaders really interested in a better tomorrow? Because that's where it's going to start. And it's got to come from the people up to the leaders, and the leaders back down. And what we're seeing is that the leadership is so fragmented because you have a president who doesn't really want to do what has to be done. You have the Mayor Cuomo of our state who's doing more probably than any other country, and people are now looking to Cuomo on guidance. It's such a fragmented system. I believe what's going to make this right is if we have a politician in office who says, someone has to finally step up and get elected who's not a Democrat, a Republican, a leftist, a rightist, a liberal. I'm an American. That's who's going to win this? Who's going to make this country right? The person who gets elected, who simply says, I am an American. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not trying to get poor people food. I'm not trying to get rich people tax cuts. I want to make the world a better place for us now, our kids and our grandkids, and so on. And I haven't seen that happen yet. Very few politicians try to do that, and the ones that do usually don't last. And they're usually considered extremists. Case in point, look at Jesse the Body Ventura when he was the mayor, the governor of Minnesota. A lot of people thought he was, the wolf in sheep's clothing, devil, devil, devil. Why was he a devil? Because he was trying to make the world a better place, but there's so many powers in place. The top 5%, and this is where the conspiracy theories, I don't want to go off on that whole rant, but this is where the top 5% of the world, they run the world. And the sad thing is, I want to believe that part of this was this was purposely done by China. This is probably where you're going to have to edit and cut me out. But I believe that China did this to some extent to destroy the American economy. Because look what it did. China and America have been fighting forever. Trump had the right idea with the tariffs, but he had the wrong amount. To go from 0 tariffs to 25% overnight, he crushed many, many businesses that rely on trade with China. Because now, case in point, think about it. You have an e-commerce company that gets all their stuff from China. They're operating on very small margins because of Amazon as it is. So Amazon has brought the country to its knees as far as companies that could charge high overhead. So you have that going against you. Now, if you're a company and you have a purchase order for $1,000 and your product comes from China, it's now $1,250 because of a 25% tariff on their products. How am I supposed to give someone a bill for $12.50 when there's a company in Brazil for 1,000? If I'm selling glass bottles to put a Coca-Cola, a lot of glass and stuff like that is manufactured in China. I'm just picking glass off the top of my head because I have a bottle of Coke here. Bottle of Coke in China might cost 2 cents to produce. But if there's going to be a 25% tariff on that, who cares? Bush did a lot of, wow. Trump did a lot of good for the country. Yes, he did. But he crushed a lot of people because what he did was too fast, too soon. The tariffs needed to be done, but they should have been implemented smaller and longer. Not just going from zero tariffs to 25 and 30% overnight. That's crushing. You're talking about people adding $300-400 onto sales that were already hard to make because of low margins. So how are we going to come over this? We're going to have to come together as a world. We can't be America versus China. We can't be friends with South Korea, but not North Korea. We can't have these wackos running around trying to build bombs. At some point in time, someone has to say, listen, if we don't learn from the past because we're just repeating it and repeating it, how many people died in World War I? How many people died in the Civil War? How many people died in all these wars, either in the name of God or in the name of money? And for what? We're not any better. Yes, we're more technology advanced, but as a culture, no. Because most people are spiritually bankrupt. Most people, unless they were getting a paycheck at the end of their job, there's no reason for them to be there, which makes sense. But how many people do you talk to that really like their job? How many people do you know that say, yeah, my job, 85% love my job. Most people I know hate their jobs. And, and again, I know I'm getting way off the topic, but it has to come from a quality of life. Other countries have it. Countries like Norway and Iceland where, they have a little bit more time off. They care about their people. They have a better quality of life. So when people start making the main goal of a group, as far as a society, if we all could just come together and say, hey, listen, I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're, a Hindu. I don't care if you're Japanese. I don't care if you're Italian. Let's just make tomorrow better than today. If as a planet we could all come to head and all come to a decision and agreement on that, yeah, that's what's going to cure us. I don't see how that's going to happen. Because most people have it's sad as it is, I'm sure you probably know, most people have a selfish underlying need. They usually have a selfish reason for what they're doing. As much on the surface as it may look like it's not, ultimately what they're trying to do is benefit themselves. And when people could stop taking themselves out and seeing more than just themselves, when people could take themselves outside and realize that maybe it's not always so important just me, maybe the group is more important than the one. That's what's going to save us. And I don't. We need a leader who's not. Trump is a great leader because he's not afraid to speak, but unfortunately, he doesn't have a filter. That's the biggest problem. He speaks too much emotion. He's got great ideas. He can build a country. He can build a business. That's great. But I think he should count to 10 before allowing his comment. That's his biggest goal. It's really sad that this world needs these type of situations to rattle the cage. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, up until now, people had their views and their opinions, but they really weren't as strongly motivated to be heard as they are now. Because now we're realizing, okay, because we let everything go, we let it go. Now we're screwed. Now everybody has to pay. So we went all these years not listening to everyone, and guess what? Now we have no choice. Now we have to listen because you don't have a choice. You have to listen. And I don't understand why, as a culture, as a society, that's the way we are. It's crazy because in my neighborhood, we still say hello to each other. But I'm sure you see, as time goes on, people don't, they pass each other on the sidewalk. You're on the same sidewalk. You don't even say hello. I see people go on the other side of the street when I'm coming or going. Why? I'm your neighbor.